Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So here we are once more. Once again back in the east, though not quite as far east this time over. Okay. July 31st. We've been making progress. I do often wonder, like, just how much I give myself in the first few turns by having the +1 defensive CV on. I really did not realize how strong that was, but yes, it really it makes a big old difference. Okay, so we more or less finished off the north over here. We did move the Finns, didn't we? I was trying to make sure that we moved everything that we need to move here. Now, for example, I do have a coastal brigade over here. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. We'll press back in just a second there. And back again. Yeah, so we do have the coastal brigades over here as well. What is it? Shift N, Shift K? I'm trying to remember what the actual garrison button is now. Let's see. There we go, we've got it on now. So is that Shift K? Okay, Shift K. Are you doing that better? Good to have you, my friend. Right. Now, technically, I don't believe I need to actually garrison any of these cities here. You know what, quite impressively, these coastal brigades actually do have a healthy amount of artillery. I mean, obviously, it's vastly overstated numbers, really. I mean, the vast majority of that is 81mm mortars, which, yeah, I mean, that's still a medium mortar, don't get me wrong. But that's a lot of AA guns. That is a lot of nice AA guns. I mean, they're only 20mm, but not bad. But it's the 76mm infantry guns I do like, actually. But the interesting thing is, it's like... they have technically more artillery than some of these actual divisions, which is interesting. Though, of course, it's vastly different. Obviously, you do have AT guns in here. Yeah, the 37mm guns there. We do have some 152mm howitzers there. So, yeah, I finished divisions. Table equipment is actually really quite interesting. Hey, doing that, Doomsday? The 120mm mortar. Very big mortar there. Very nice. So I think what I'm going to do here then potentially is we could bring these coastal brigades. And the question comes down to just maybe use them just to hold some locations perhaps. But as far as it goes, I can't see anything really where they could be of use right now. Yeah, we did this last time. We've finally been able to link up over here. We would have been here already, but I got a little bit too greedy and didn't check on the actual fortifications. But we have been making progress up here. Now let's take a look. Yeah, swamps here. And I don't have the punch to beat that division. Maybe I could, but it's probably not worthwhile. I need the actual infantry to back us up over here. Just move the tracks on here, actually, and we got the Japan Overture. Let's see. There we go. That's a better one. How's Moscow looking? Well, we've yet to begin the actual push here. Well, we still have all these units to move. But we are near in Moscow. This is where we're going to be taking a look at in this turn, really. Well, in this session. Now... whereabouts do the rail lines go? So the rail lines are still here for the time being. Speaking of rail lines, we are moving them up. We're very close here to the front line. Obviously, the front line is ever advancing. Yeah. I mean, as far as I can tell, it looks like there's only 2 free... well, just look at that. It doesn't look like there's really anything here to block us. It looks like there might be just these airfields behind the front line here. So, if that is actually the situation, I'd be very happy there. We do have all these reinforcements moving up as well, which is very good news. This is... I can't remember if we've done the aerial reconnaissance. I'm tempted to move up the airfields first and foremost, but then again, they're not too far away from the front line. What I'll do then is look towards moving the army headquarters, perhaps. So, 4th Army. Right, so what we'll do then is we'll move the actual headquarters up there. Now, let's see. Yeah, this is in supply over here. And obviously we want to be on the actual railhead, don't we? So... we'll move them to about this position here. Though I will take them just ever so slightly off the rail line. Just move them over here. The reason being so I can actually move forward the airfields. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You move there. Right, you're a little bit out there. Right, okay. So, I think it's shift... Is it shift K? You know, I forgot the actual shortcut is now. What is it? God damn it, I forgot what it is now. Right, there we go. Shift Z. That's what we're looking for. Shift Z. There we go. Perfect. How you doing there, J Street? Sunday day. Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose it's technically evening, isn't it? About 5 to 6 here at the moment. So I'll let you have that one. I mean, I was thinking, I'm really quite bad when I let... Because I don't really have a schedule, do I, as such. It's like, if I'm going to stream, it's more than likely going to be about 6 o'clock, my time. I've been thinking about that one. Is it like, am I gimping myself by doing that, or should I be doing more things? But I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those, isn't it, really? It's like, I could spend all week doing videos every single day, but it's one of these things, it's like, you guys want to watch something that's actually entertaining, not something that's being pushed out, really. Okay. Where's the actual Panzer Group headquarters? So Panzer Group's over here as well. Now, whereabouts is your airfield? There we go. We'll have you move to about, let's say about this position here. Looks to be within range there. Right, excellent. So we do have a healthy amount of reconnaissance on these airfields, though not on the 2nd Army airbase, though, which is rather interesting. But again, it is a new headquarters, isn't it? So that does make a little bit of sense. So as far as it goes, it may be worthwhile potentially have that 2nd Army headquarters move up to the front, perhaps. Now, we can land it. Yeah, we could basically use it as an airfield just to land Junkers at the Junker 52/3s, I think it is. Could you do some more recon in the center? Yeah, we're going to take a look at the reconnaissance here shortly. I think I probably already run it in the past, but it's always worthwhile to do it again. So I'll run the AI reconnaissance. I wanted to move these airfields up over here. Reason being so we just have a better idea what's going on. What I'll do then is put the message level down to about 2. Okay. So as far as I'm aware, this is the actual depth over here. Now, fuel's obviously a bit of a concern. I mean, this cavalry division did do well for us, but they're in a very exposed position, I suppose you could say. Now, we do have the forces of the 2nd Army over here. I think what we'll do then is we'll start by moving the 2nd Army. So if we take a look, we don't yet have, obviously, the rail lines over here, so I can't... I could continue to move them, but we do have a lot of force here. So what I do need to do then is actually secure this flank over here. So we have the 16th Army over here doing that job. So we've got the 16th, we'll have the 2nd here, then obviously we'll have the Panzer Group, is this 9th, and 4th, yeah, so 9th, 4th, then the 2nd Panzer Group, is it 2nd Panzer Group? Yes, 2nd Panzer Group. I can basically continue to move on forward there. There are some elements here attached to what appears to be the 2nd Army. Yeah, they're attached to 2nd Army. Stream is no off-key singing like... Yeah, I heard about that. Oh dear. That's pretty awesome though. I'd have loved to have heard it. Like, how was it? Is he going to be on the top of the pops? Right, now these forces also belong to the 4th Army. Yeah, obviously they were responsible for here as well. So we're going to have a lot in the way of reinforcements in this central area. Still some infantry attached to the 2nd Army as well. Okay. So we'll start with the units first to the rear then. Let's take a look at where the rail lines go to. So the rail lines go out about this position over here. So what I'll look towards doing then is actually moving these men out to probably about here, just beyond the river. I don't really need to move into this area as such. The good news is we've crossed the river over here. That's the best part. Now, Mogilev is a city that's not really too potential. Well, it's not really that important. Obviously, we had Edinburgh, we lost it obviously in that turn, but no big deal there. I'd like to. So we're making progress down here as well. Also, we do need to fix that situation. But I'm hoping that we're putting enough pressure on the Soviets here, really to keep them on the back foot. What I'm most interested in doing here is really cutting the rail lines off around Moscow. That's the plan. So it's about here then. Stick to the rail line for the most part. As long as we do that, we're within supply, so that's fine. Now, I'd like them to move over here. At least we do have that clear terrain, so it'll make it easier for them to move up. Now, whereabouts is your core command? Your core command being over there. Okay. Now then, I'm going to have you move up over this way. Though saying that it might be worthwhile to secure this position, we could move here to potentially... It's one of these, really. Like, what do I have here? What's the range of the reconnaissance? So the reconnaissance here is actually... sees apparently some airfields over this way. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have much in this area here. So what I'd like to do then is potentially position our forces to punch this way. I'm going to bring up the actual drawing tool, makes it a little bit easier. I always find it easier just to draw things out, just because it makes it easier for you guys to see, and also for me to see here as well. Right. So of course we do have this 16th Army covering the flank over here. Second Army really is going to be taking this position up over here then. So the main thrust is really here. The interesting thing is, though, when it comes to actual rail density, is it's all concentrated. Well, the actual logistical center of the logistical heart of Russia is, of course, Moscow. The big cities, the big urban centers. Though what intrigues me is the fact that we could potentially pursue a path like so. The thing with that, though, is it's like we take advantage of the clear terrain down here. But I'm quite interested in that one. But I don't know. I don't know. So there's a lot of forest here. I mean, obviously we are going to have to move out this way anyway. But we might... I think what we'll do then is really try to have the mobile elements move down to the south here to take advantage of this clear terrain. And that's obviously where the panzers will operate far more effectively and be able to cover far more in the way of ground. I mean, they'd still be handy here, but there's a lot of forest around Moscow. There's a lot of forest in this region. There's a lot of swamp in this region. Are you gonna go for pockets or just push for Moscow this turn? Well, what I'm going to be looking at doing then is looking to set up the pockets where we can. But we'll see. There's not much in the way of a front line in front of us. But obviously, if we can destroy the units, then they're gone. I'd like to make it towards Vyazma, if we can do. If we could make it towards that area there, I'd be quite happy, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Going south towards Tula is easier, but eventually you have to cross the Oka River. Well, this is it, really. And what I'd be looking at doing then is obviously having a force carry on. Probably a majority of the infantry carried on. I mean, the good news is obviously we have the 16th Army to the north, and the 2nd Army to the south there. So at least they are going to be pushing against the flanks anyway. We do have a major commitment of force in this area. A whole panzer group. In fact, additional panzer elements as well. I think it might be a collection of 2 panzer groups. It's a little bit weaker than it originally started out, but it's still a formidable force. But we do obviously have elements of Army Group North helping us here as well. You could break through the second and drive north and encircle them? Potentially so. Yeah, you're right, Ben. Obviously on the fuel side, man. We do have the rail line up to this point here and up to here. More or less parallel for the most part. The good news is I'm going to be able to cross this river. I mean, I'm hoping that we can actually have enough fuel. Well, I just need to be close enough, really. Though, we don't have a huge amount of fuel anyway, so we're not going to be advancing too quickly. Probably be down to, probably down mostly to the infantry at this point here, so that does give the actual rail lines that time to, catch on. We were lucky in the fact that we were able to capture the rest of Torsk on the first turn, which gave us the ability to just move straight. It's a fair old amount of distance here. We're doing well over here in the north. Doing very well over there. Not quite up to the front line here, but it should be significantly easier. See, the difficulty with HQ build-up is it's so very expensive, and it's like we have a lot of things that we need to spend the administration points on. So it's one of these things of, do we look towards maybe a more efficient army structure, efficient command structure, better usage of units, more support units, that sort of stuff, really having the support units come back to command, or do we look towards like pushing fuel into like a single core? It's one of these, isn't it, really? It's a big choice. It's not an easy choice either. You do have to really decide on what you want to do, and really what the actual strategy is. But it's always something to bear in mind. Potentially so. Potentially so. Though the thing is, it's like you've got to bear in mind, it's like this isn't the prime territory for, well, this isn't the prime area for that sort of like panzer rush. It's like, if we take a look over here, we do have a land bridge over here, but I really do have to push on this land bridge. That's going to give me the best. But, I mean, the reason I'm thinking about having the armor moved down this way is at least we're able to take potentially advantage of these plains over here, which would be quite nice. There's not much in the way of fuel. We'll see. I really want to try and cut off reinforcements. We have made good progress over here as well in the north. We have managed to like bypass a major portion of what would have been Soviet defensive lines over here. So we've made some speed up over here. Just got to keep putting the pressure on, really. So we'll move the second army, and we'll go from there, really. We do have this division here. The question comes down to, do we attack it to force it across the river? And it's a very weak formation. It probably is worthwhile attacking it just to get it across the river so we have more freedom of action. But then again, that is using valuable points. So let's see. I think what I'm going to do here then is probably save the administration points and probably use them either to sort out the command hierarchy, because I do need to actually assign these corps back to the, the Panzer group. Let's see. Right, but 52nd's going to move up over here. 35th Corps is going to move up then. So we don't have enough for an actual planned attack, but I do have enough for a hasty attack. I think a hasty is probably doable, perhaps. Let's see. There's no fortifications, so we should be alright. We do have a strong division here. Table equipment is 98 out of 100, so it's one of the strong divisions. I'm not a big fan of hasty attacks, but we'll see. Well, it's one of these, really. I've got to get an idea for what he has. Like, I'm not going to move the armor until we move the infantry anyway. Okay, gives us a little bit more of the free, well, way of movement. So I'll move you there. So we do capture the city. I'm just going to turn that off, just so it's not getting in the way there. Now, cavalry is quite important. They are able to really move out quite effectively. Still clear on the forecast. We've got to be really mindful of that. So Mogilev, well, Mogilev, we don't really gain anything. I think, to be honest, what I might be better off doing then is... I was considering, or do we try to, like, envelop them? But I think what I'll do then is obviously pull back the cavalry over here to have them head back north. The second army can face them and obviously form a line, form a front there. We'll still have infantry over here to cover the flank as well. So if that then enables these Soviets to sort of go like that, obviously form a front line, that is a lot easier to actually envelop than something that's spread out like this. The terrain's not really suited to it. There's a lot of major rivers here. Major river, some minor rivers. The terrain's not conducive to it. I mean, there is a lot of plains, but it's a lot of rivers as well. A lot of forest. So it's not really particularly amazing. So I'm not going to go any further south on this. I think we just push. So we'll move the units to the rear then. A good portion of the second army is already up here at the front, it seems. But I imagine that's probably due to them being assigned to that command. Now, I could potentially split these guys up to actually cover more ground, but it's probably not for the best. Yeah, they don't have as much in the way of movement. Now, the town of Gorky. Nothing of value there. It's already been captured and recaptured. Oh, right, I see. Okay, what I'm going to do here. So this unit's in position there. We've got the two divisions over here. Divisions here. What I'm going to do then is place one of the center here. Now, I could move to this position here, but what good's that going to do me? Not really very good. It also means that we are stretching out the second army's logistics, so I'll have them move here. Right, there we go. Alright, I can't get away with that one. Maybe one more to the south, perhaps. It does mean that their headquarters is potentially vulnerable. And also we do have these forces over here. The question comes down to, what reinforcements do we have and what reinforcements do we want to move out? Then the reinforcements can march to the front for the most part. It's not the biggest deal if they don't move via train. Obviously, it's very handy to have reinforcements moving out via train, as you can get them there to the front quickly. But then again, these guys here, they do need to join back up with their actual constituent command, really. The army that they are indeed part of, the 4th. They need to go and join it. Now, it looks like they're at the end of the rail line. So I'm quite happy for these gentlemen just to march up the centre here. What I'm going to do is move these elements off the rail line itself, not to clog it up. These guys march up the center. How you doing there, Grim? Good to have you on board, my man. Right, one more. So that's a good amount of movement there. Jeez, so is that. It's going well enough. It's going well enough. Like, we are making progress, and that's the thing to bear in mind. Now over here on the flank, I really want to push on towards the city where the actual rail lines is. Well, where the rail lines are. This center doesn't matter. Right, they've already moved now. Form that back up. Right, we do have a corridor of plains over here. And you have a clear terrain. Okay, the good news, the very, very, very good news, is that we're in supply in this area. That's excellent. Right. Right, good, you can perform a hasty attack. What I'm going to do here then, is I'm going to take this division here. I'm going to look towards breaking up into 3 parts so we can cover the center here. A single division spread out into regiments is going to cover that center there. The other 2 corps are going to form up over here on the flanks. And what we're going to do then is we're going to push along the clear terrain over here. And link up there. Now, it's obviously going to put pressure on this line of Soviet infantry over here. Obviously, these divisions will more than likely push or fall back. I don't need to worry much about this due to the fact that it's not really relevant to our logistics. But what we're going to be looking towards doing then, as we push up over here, is naturally that is going to displace these Soviet forces here in this area. Now, that's a little bit complicated there how it looks. So, in essence, like so. It's a weird arrow, but bear with me. Yeah, it's a very bad arrow. But indeed, then obviously we push there. So in effect, we do have the Soviet forces that find themselves really enveloped without even being actively enveloped, if you know what I mean. It becomes a side effect. That, and not to mention, look at the awful, awful terrain here. Swamps, forest. Not very good. Not very good. I need to cut the rail line and then these troops are more or less just dead in the water. If I can outmaneuver them, well, outmaneuver them, they really aren't much of a threat. Right. So 1 here. One there. Don't say that. Now there's obviously gaps between these lines over here, but it's just to keep it. It's just, and they're not really going to project much of a zone of control there, but it's just to keep them in check. Right. You're part of this formation as well. Are you? You're part of this force, okay. Yeah, the train is bad. Very bad. Okay, it's probably the best I can manage there. The good news is that the rail lines will be here next turn. We're already within supply range, which is excellent. It does give me a lot to work with. See, some of these cores really don't have much in the way of artillery. Like, only 36 guns here is not really very much. We do have additional battalions, additional gun battalions. Construction pioneers. I mean, construction needs to be moved elsewhere. What I'll do then is I'll assign them some additional howitzers. Right. Now the good news is this is a very weak front line. We may, with ideally enough luck, be able to break through here. The good news is they're not really gaining the time to actually fortify either. The great meanders. That's pretty cool. How you doing there, AT? Good to have you, my friend. AT Mirror. I like that name. So yeah, this is a place to attack here. It's like, ideally I'd like to draw them off, well, drive them off from here. But they only have 20. I don't think they'll be able to do too much. They may not even be able to push this division back, but it would be nice if they could attempt to do something of that nature. Yeah, they actually do it. And they actually retreat in the best way, which is really nice. Okay, I'm happy with that. They accomplished what I would have hoped for. They also do safeguard our position here as well. No. 13 here, 12 there. You don't have the ability for a hasty attack, but that's okay. So move this position here. Now, I can't really entrust this to a hasty attack. The reason being we get burnt by them all too often. That, and I need this. So, the thing is, it's like it's the zone of control here. If I'm lucky, I might still be able to move on forwards here. So I'll go for a planned attack. I don't think I'd be able to advance too far here, but I've got to open this way up. Now, it's only 7,000 men in that division, but still 109 guns, so they still have a decent amount of artillery with them. Shooting down quite a few of those bombers there, actually. Jeez. Shot a few of them down, didn't we? Interestingly enough, we do have a howitzer battalion there. I saw some 200 and, was it 204mm guns or 240mm guns? Yeah, we actually don't succeed. Yep, there we go. This is what I'm talking about, why you have to go for these planned attacks. So attack once again. The first attack was quite good there as well. We may not break through here even on the second attack, but we'll see. I just need them to retreat. Right, there we go. They're forced back. Fairly heavy losses. Okay, that means I can move here. Shift there. So what I'll do now then is I'm going to push this position here. Now that's a fairly strong position now. I mean, obviously it is a weakened... Well, it's two weakened forces, but they still have the benefit of a swamp there. So I really don't want to be pushing into that. I could push beyond, but then that does mean I'm kind of out there on a limb. So what we're going to do here then... These guys are in Lightwoods. They don't have a fort. They only have supposedly 2 defensive value. Combat value, I should say. So I think a hasty attack could manage it. Do these guys have any attached support? They do not. Not like I really want to give them anything anyway. The Pioneer Battalions really should be moved elsewhere. Like, I need to have the Pioneer Battalions really sent towards Army Group Center, obviously for these armies that are going to be facing these cities. And to Army Group North as well. I mean, Engineers is fantastic. Right, come on, let's see if I'm right here. The 6th Division, no support from command there, unfortunately. Though it's only 3,000 men, so it looks like we are successful. There we go. Okay. So, I can't move on as they're now blocking this position here. What I could do is move to this position here. Or I can have the actual formation spread out. Which, maybe. But it doesn't leave me in a very good position, does it? It's not the easiest area to push through, really. I'm just looking towards really pressuring them for the most part. We could attempt a full attack over here. I do not think he will succeed. But it is probably worthwhile giving it a go. I could use some air power to potentially weaken their position, but it's still quite strong. So it does make me wonder, is it worthwhile pushing through then, when the chances of success aren't really too exceptional? It may be that we leave them here, to be fair. At least we retain the strength of the division. We don't... well, we're not using too much in the wave supply either. So I think we'll leave them as they are. It's like I could attack here, I could move there, but if I move there, I can't really do anything anyway. It doesn't fix the problem that we'll be facing the swamps over here. Let's see what we can manage on this side. We do have 150 guns over here now. Yeah, Pioneer Battalions. Now, I do have the freedom of action to move a little bit more here. But what I will do then, is I'm going to move the 2nd Regiment over here. That one can't move any further, but I'm going to move the, well, I'm going to have the 2nd Regiment here. The reason being, at least it prevents these stronger divisions from being too much of a problem. We're opposed by a very weak airborne brigade here, but it's actually these assets over here that are the issue. So looking at the actual terrain here, it's actually really quite good for the Soviets. I think the best course of action, considering that this is rough terrain. The rough terrain is, let's take a look. Right. So the rough terrain, actually it's not as bad as it first seems. That's clear. Right. Okay. So at first glance it looks like the attack should be here due to the fact of how weak this unit is. But if we take a look, that division there does have some strength to it. We do see the headquarters here. I think what we'd like to do then is, I could probably push this division here, but if I push that, I could push it into the rough terrain. So potentially what we want to do then is push against this stronger division. And these divisions here potentially, and drive on here. At least then we'd drive it on with the main body. So we'll pull back. Yeah, we'll pull back. I don't gain anything from moving into here. The rail line's already cut, so that's job done really. We'll move there. So with the aid of a 2nd Division, we could attack that position. We'll move the headquarters up there. Make sure that the support's within range. I think it's within 3 hexes, but obviously I'd like them to be close to make sure we get that support. So we'll attack with 2 divisions there against the 61st Rifle Division. So we're going to look towards bypassing the swamps and really push on the flanks here where it is clear. Well, clear here and obviously forest here. But forest is significantly easier to handle than swamp, really. So I'll look towards bypassing the swamp. Okay. No air support on either side here. We do have the 846th Howitzer Battalion here aiding us. The 61st Rifle Division has the 137th BM Howitzer Division, Regiment, and the 16th Heavy AA Battalion. 174 pieces of artillery. Obviously, we do have 376 pieces of artillery in this fight, so that's quite good. Right, we do actually succeed with the attack. Actually, no, saying that, I'm sure we had good odds there. Huh. Interesting, but we do not succeed. We do have the full attack once again from this division here. I don't think it'll break them, but I don't want them to actually dig in. I want to cause some more disruption to them. It's going through the weird tracks again. Handy for when we play one in the Pacific. There we go. We do succeed this time. Excellent. So 21 there. You could potentially go for a hasty attack, but is it worth it? Not really. Though saying that, you could actually maybe make it, so we'll give it a go. It's actually really a surprisingly strong division there, the 252nd. I can imagine its morale isn't that good. It's got rather weak defensive CV, so something's clearly wrong with this division. I don't think we'll succeed in this attack. They do have a lot of support and artillery. Yeah, 2 core artillery regiments. The 103rd Heavy A Battalion. So we're going to take quite a few losses here. That's for damn sure. Yeah, definitely not what it appeared at first, is it? Whew. Very close odds there. I think we'd have won that if it wasn't for that support and artillery from the different corps there. Okay. But ultimately, that's fine. Second corps in position there. Okay, we pull back the core commands. At least then we're not in danger. So, all in all, that went well enough. Like, I don't really need to do anything about this central area. There's no real threat. There's no real gain to it either. So, we've effectively moved on the flanks there. I'm fairly happy to use elements of the Second Army, or what elements are remaining here, to just safeguard the flank. The issue is the river over here. So, it may be we use the infantry over here to the north. Do need to get the infantry up there. Like at the front lines we're seeing a lot of them motorized, and some of them actually have a decent amount of fuel, so we'll see about that. Fortifications aren't really much a concern. No. It may be worthwhile to take care of these divisions first and foremost. I'll see if I can accomplish this with the 87th Division. At least then, I'm not having to deal with those units and I can move a lot easier. Right, we'll go on a hasty attack. I'm hoping that'll be enough. They'll probably retreat. Yep, they retreat. And planned attack there. Ideally that does defeat them. I do hope they actually do make it. And they should be really quite weak, and... yeah, there we go. So that's the 34th, 50th, and 127th Division surrendered there. A good majority of them walk into captivity, and I also do have the ability to move the division yet still, so that's good news. It's a fairly weak division as far as it goes. So in the city itself, as Smolensk, we do have 3 NKVD border regiments, so not exactly much of a threat. What I'll do then is I'll use the core over here to begin to open up the path. Planned attack over here. I mean, I could maybe get away with a hasty attack, but this isn't the strongest division, so I'll go with a planned attack. I mean, pushing each division away does actually give our other divisions the ability to move. I'm not entirely sure how far we might be able to make it here with the actual armor and motorized. I'd be quite happy if we could make it towards the city of Vyazma, well, Vyazma, whatever you want to call it. Reserve over there would be quite nice. Reserve. If I could take the actual rail lines there, I'd be very happy. I don't care about the city, I just want to cut the rail lines. Okay, we still have 8, but that's not enough to attack again, unfortunately. Move you up. So I'll go for a hasty attack here. 110 attacks. Yeah, easy battle there, really. I'll move here. I'll attempt to attack the airborne and cavalry. Try and move up so that there is at least some support available. And I could attempt to weaken this position here as well, maybe. But this one probably has the most chance to succeed. Okay, no cover by the Luftwaffe. They do obviously have airfields nearby. Yep, there we go. Excellent. That does help out the Panzer Division. Now, I think what I'm going to do here, then, is I'll use this division to actually free up the panzers. Now, I'll hit this one as hard as I can. At least I'll free up this panzer division over here. Ideally. Ideally. I've still got to break this, well, this band of the forest over here. Okay, we succeed in the attack, quite handsomely as well. Rather light losses. We have enough for a hasty attack, so I might as well attempt it. That division there is stronger, it does have a high level of defensive CV. And unfortunately, we do not receive any support from the core command there. I don't think we'll be able to push it back. I'm hoping so, but I'm not. Oh, actually, no. Okay, well, that worked out really well. That worked out really, really well. could not have really asked for anything better there. So what I'll do then... place you over here. That'll cover our flank. Okay. So, we've managed to push them back out of this area over here. That's given the Panzers the freedom of movement. We've got rid of the actual units that were here as well, forced them to surrender. So we've accomplished that using one core, which is very good. Very good. Now, we do have to bear in mind that the river is here. So it's not a very good place to attack. As far as it goes, the best thing I could probably do then is advance the actual remaining forces from the, 9th? Is it the 9th? Which army is this again? The 9th army. Yeah. We'll use the remaining core of the 9th army. Drive through here. And then what I'd like to do is actually hit them from the rear. At least then, I can ignore the city, I don't care about the city. But then just drive these guys back, and then that gives me the freedom of movement with the Panzers. So I'm using the, left hook, I suppose you could call it. But the great news is, it's like, once I get these guys out of the way, it looks like we might be able to drive on. And depending on how far we can move, that'd be really, really good. Now, let's see. There's no fuel. And there's obviously 100 fuel there, about 1,000... Or was that, what, 1,600 in the way of supply? We'd obviously never get that. Yeah. We'd capture like a tiny amount of that, so it's not even worth attempting to take the city. Now let's see. There are a number of villages out here. We might be able to capture a little bit of supply. Some fuel in there. Supply there. Vyazma. Not really much. Now, the reason why I want this city here, and I don't really care about the city, I really don't care, because it's another position to actually have to garrison. Though, of course, these cities will come in very handy during the winter, as these are going to be the places where the Panzers will be sheltering. Like, we cannot have the Panzers out in the cold, we can't have them out in the blizzards. They'll just degrade far too much. So, they're going to become important in the future. But that needs to be taken to actually cut that rail line. Though saying that it's not the most important one. I'd gain... I mean, I can't accomplish this. I'd gain something by cutting this rail line. I mean, it would help, but it's not the be-all, end-all. It's just simply another thing, really. I'm trying to see if there's anything really worthwhile pushing towards. I mean, if we take a look at this... The best avenue of advance on Moscow. I mean, what I need to do... I mean, technically the best avenue of advance would be through here. Up there, and then at least we're moving through just overland. We don't have that luxury all over. So I think what we need to do then is really try to push on towards this area to a degree. I mean, ultimately I want to envelop Moscow. I want to cut the rail lines there, even if I can't seize the city itself. If I can get into a position there where I can actually just cut the rail lines off, that makes it significantly harder for reinforcements to be brought up. So in some sense, it's better to go for like a wider move on Moscow than... but we'll see what happens as we break through here. So let's figure out what we have. So that's a mobile. We do have these forces here. And I could kick that airborne brigade back, but... I mean, do I gain that much from it? You don't have that much in the way of movement. So what I'll do then is I'll use you to do that. At least then that frees up these forces over here. The issue is the zone of control over this way. So I'll use that weakened division then to do that for me. At least that frees us up from the zone of control. Should go for their planned attack there. Definitely not the strongest division. Yeah, we don't... Jeez, I should just gone with a planned attack. So this is what happens even when you underestimate... Well, when you think you've, like, got all the chances in the world, you can still be defeated sometimes. So often it is just better just to go for the planned attack. Yeah, there we go. That's what we should have had from the first. Okay. You're not moving. You're not moving, so that secures a flank there. But it does allow these forces to move up far easier now. You move that, then we've got a solid line to the north. But I'd like to kick them out of position there. I think what I'll do then is I'll use the 2 divisions over here, and then that means that we clear 3 hexes then. The best case scenario is if like they push back, well they fall back over there. It might be worth it to do it in the hard to say actually. I wanna, well, it doesn't particularly matter which one I do before the other one as far as I'm concerned. Though I mean, 6 isn't that strong, but it's one of these cases of, I mean, I could maybe get away with 16. It's just one of these of, like, am I going to be better off using 2 divisions to ensure that we actually have success, rather than leaving it to a chance? But then again, chance is what we need, isn't it? I could give them some support, but is it worthwhile? Not really. There are more divisions here, but I'm trying to do the most with the least, really. I'll move you first of all and see what we have here. Okay, that is stronger than previously imagined. So we do have the ability for a planned attack. I think 2 divisions are required here. I'd rather be successful and think, oh well, maybe I should use less, but we've got to be successful to think that. So we'll attack here. I could actually move this division up over here then, but they can't retreat here anyway. We'll see. I think I moved the wrong core there. Ah, I see. Well, that's actually quite beneficial. So we benefit from having 2 different cores there, so 2 different sets of support, which is really quite nice. So yeah, we'll go for the attack. Planned attack with the 161st, 156th. So the 266th Motorized Flak Battalion and the 753rd Pioneer Battalion join us in the attack here. The Pioneers are going to be very handy. They're not dug in, but at least they'll be helpful nonetheless. No support from Luftwaffe, but we are still shooting a good number of them down. Obviously having the Motorized Flak's very handy. Yeah, it's a fair commitment of AA guns as well. We do have 422 pieces of artillery, so a good healthy amount of artillery. Now, I mean, the majority of our divisions do have 150mm guns. The thing is, the Russians do tend to have 152mm guns, and sometimes they have even larger calibers of artillery, so it's one of these times of where, well, sometimes it's where if you don't have overwhelming artillery, you can kind of be blasted apart by the Russians, due to the fact that they do have these big pieces of artillery. Okay, that was actually a success. And not quite the best location for them to fall back, but still not too bad. No movement here available, which is unfortunate. I could go for a hasty attack. Could you go for a hasty attack? We'll go for a hasty attack just to see what we might be able to manage there. No additional support there, which is unfortunate. Yeah, we don't make any gains there. Not huge losses either, but we do reduce strength and a little bit of that force. Okay. So they're out in the open, but they're quite weak. Okay, we do have this division down. So we're looking at the 310th Division there. Now let's see. Morale is not too bad. Morale's really bad for the Airborne Brigade. Experience is bad all round for them. They do have a lot of supplies. Fuel, they're fine. Yeah, morale and experience is really their breaking point. Okay. I could maybe go for 2 hasty attacks, but I'm going to go for a planned attack here to make sure we are successful. There's always this great temptation to go for hasty attacks, and sometimes they can be really successful, but you've really got to be careful. At least this does actually free up the Panzer forces and motorized forces there, so they do have a little bit more freedom of movement. If I have enough movement points remaining, I'll attack the Airborne Brigade, which should be swept away quite easily by a hasty attack. It doesn't have to be a particularly potent hasty attack because they are particularly potent units. So we do succeed there. They fall back, and yeah, that's probably the best I could have asked for. I was kind of envisioning them falling back here, but that's actually not too bad. Now I do have enough for a hasty attack as well, so let's see. 105, 150s. Yeah, they only have 27 pieces of artillery. Really, really not much there. 27 pieces for over 2,000 men. It's really not a lot, is it? Right, we do succeed, and they rout. And they actually rout to the south there, which is excellent. But that's really good. They're completely out of the way now. And this is more or less open. It's not a continuous front line, which is excellent. Okay. I do have some forces with some additional movement there, but not much. So, the corps over here from the 9th Army have achieved a lot of success there. And honestly, if we take a look at that, you can see here we're already able to start moving here. And I'm going to continue to use the infantry. But we're in a position now where we are covering our flank quite well. Okay. As a strong division. Sadly doesn't have that much in the way of movement. I could use these forces down here, to be fair. At least then we do punch through. I don't think we need a lot there to punch through either. I'll still use a 2nd division to make sure. Though saying that, I reckon a hasty attack should be able to do that. But what I'll do then, let's see. Right, what I'm going to attempt to do here. Yeah, that's a fairly strong position now. I'll see if we can hit this from the rear and see if we do have enough to manage it. It's not the strongest division there. We don't really have any support, unfortunately. No air support either. Maybe, but I doubt it. I kind of want them to be... Ah, no. Yeah, looks good. There we go. So the city of Smolensk is now isolated, which is excellent. Okay. So that is exactly what we needed there. So what I'll do then is we'll use this division. So move the command of the 5th Corps 1 hex further down to the south. Use the 28th. Full attack with the 28th there to cross the river. River crossings are... they're always dangerous, always hard. So we do have... did I attack with the 5th Division as well? I might have accidentally attacked with the 5th Division as well. Yeah, I attacked with the 5th Division as well. Didn't actually mean to do that. But at least we're definitely assured of success. I can't see that going wrong. If it works, it works. Not what I envisioned using, but hey. We do have the 745th Pioneers and the 842nd Gun Battalion, bringing us up to a total of 410 guns. I'd be surprised if they actually repulsed us, that would be ironic. Yeah, they're taking heavy casualties. Casualties on our end is very light. And this is it, we have like, what, 4 times the amount of artillery? And it really is making itself felt here. Yeah, definite success. There we go. Heavy losses there. They are forced back. Okay, not quite what I wanted to do there. Would prefer to have had the other division there available, but hey. But the good news now is we have this open. I do have some infantry here. They're going to have to be used. I need to push them to the south now. Okay. What I'm going to do then is use these guys to cover the southern flank. Right, there we go. That gives me freedom of operation now. Okay, so these guys can't cross that river now. Nor can these fellows. So it's really up to these men. I mean, we could attack and take the city now, but I'd rather wait a turn. Okay. You do have enough for a haste attack, which is good. At least I can actually weaken them a little bit. We'll see how the planned attack goes. At least then I might have a second chance of a hasty attack. Saying that, yeah, we don't have enough there. So I could attack with 2 hasties, but then again, is it one of these of where I might actually do myself a disservice? Yeah, the city is fortified as well, which does not help. I think I'll move you to the flank. Yeah, sadly you don't have enough for a planned attack. But I'll have you attack to the north, push them out of the way ideally. But at least depending on the end results of this attack, it doesn't really make that much a difference. I wanted them to go to the north. Right, we have enough for a hasty attack, so I'm going to give it a go with a hasty. I mean, this is a powerful division after all. So if I can do this with one division, I'll be happy. It's actually a much weaker division than I would have imagined there. We do have a 201st Stuck Battalion, we do have a 750 Pioneer Battalion. No support from the Luftwaffe, since we're out of range of the Luftwaffe here for the time being. We do barely fail. It was very close there. No more. But we do have the 2 divisions here. At least I would have thought so. Seems we only have... You could attack there before... Yeah. That's really weird. You could attack beforehand. Strange. Oh well. Fifth Machine Gun Battalion there. Not quite as impressive, eh? But let's see if we can get the job done. I think they'll probably still hold, we'll see. 5, 13... Right, we do push them back. Yeah, it looks like that town was helping them out. Okay, that's good news. Don't have the ability to move on any further, unfortunately. If I could move there, I'd be happy. Yeah, he could move there if he wanted to. What I'll do then is move the headquarters back. Okay. This unit can be responsible over here. What are your plans then? Well, what we're doing here then is we've managed to cut Smolensk off, which is good news. What I'm trying to do here then is get the infantry to knock these forces out of the way. I'm hoping I can push them back, well, push them down here. If I could push that up there as well, I'd be quite happy. But what I need is I need a decent strength, like, because if you take a look over here, I mean, what I'm trying to form over here then is a defensive line over there. So that gives me a corridor then. I'm looking towards, like, having a good few hexes open. And if I could extend that up there as well, that'd be quite good. We do have the river line here, so I got that defense. What I'm trying to do then is try and drive on towards Vyazma. How the hell you pronounce it? And that's what I'm intending. I wish I could get across here. I can move there, but I don't have the ability to attack them. What is your win condition for this? Yeah, so we need 290 VPs apparently. Ah dear. I don't know if we have a... I can't remember if we have an automatic victory. I might have it set up with the automatic victory, but I can't remember which one it is. I am somewhat tempted to push on the city, I'm not gonna lie. How many victory points is Moscow? It's not enough to win. I forget where you see the victory points now. You know, I can't remember how much it's worth. You know, I can't remember how you figured out how much it's worth. Is that 50? Is it 50 the number there? Or I can't remember. Maybe it's that number. Maybe that one. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to attack this city due to the fact that we really don't have... It's one of these that will hurt, but if I can take the city now, then at least I do have the ability to move there. I think we'll give it a go. I mean, with Stalingrad, I mean, with the south, we did have a big setback with the south, also due to how tough it was with the +1 defensive CV for a while. But we're making progress there. And obviously, we'll try to get to Stalingrad. I'm going to ignore the Crimean Peninsula. We took Odessa last time, which was good news. Well, we took Odessa technically this time, but obviously another session. We're not doing too bad. We are making good progress. The south will get easier. We've got a big pocket of troops to deal with over there. I mean, my troops got cut off there last turn, but we did envelop them as well, and then we were counter-enveloped. Well, cut off. So I just need to finish that there. But these troops can move on, which is nice. I need to take Kharkov. Yeah. How many divisions could I attack with then? So that'd be 4 divisions. Still 4 divisions. I just could use a panzer, but I'd rather not. Oh yeah, I mean, things will start going back. Still 4 divisions, wow. Okay. I was kind of hoping for more there. We'll give it a go. So we have the 23rd, the 255th. There's a lot of our support and artillery here. 78th, 267th. Yeah, no Luftwaffe support, but we do have 901 pieces of artillery, which is a lot of artillery. There's only 7,647 men in the city. We are attacked with 67,695. It looks like they've got a shitload of AA there. I don't know if we'll be able to take it. They've got a lot of fortification, but I think a lot of that artillery is going to be very useful. So if it doesn't fall this turn, then at least we attempted it. It's not really the best idea attempted to take a city that's not been starved at all. But if I can get it out of the way, then I don't need to worry about having it remain cut off, really. We'll see. I'm hoping that will start racking up the damage against them. They don't really have anywhere to fall back to, so we'll see. I would have liked to have had 4 or 5 divisions. Well, sorry, 5 or 6 divisions attack. Is it good? We had 9,000 there, so it looks like it's good. Yeah, it's good. And they're routed. Superb. So the city of Smolensk has fallen for 255 men lost permanently. But the city has fallen. Yeah, we don't retain much there. 342 tons of supply. But the good news is now I can actually move. I may be able to move beyond the river. Yeah, see, now we can move, which is excellent. Costly, but I think worthwhile. Yeah, I think that's worthwhile. At least we have secured the city now. Fairly light losses. I mean, they've routed down here. Yeah, we get the ability to move up a little bit further now. Not terribly much, but it still makes a difference. Okay, so I have the 900 layer, well, yeah, motorized. Okay, 13 tons of fuel captured is not bad at all, actually. So they retreat up that way. So only a hasty attack could be done. Yeah, we're not too far away now. They might have a chance. I might as well throw them against them. But then again, it's probably not really worthwhile. No saying, then I'll give it a go. Maybe I'll have a go against this one here to the south, considering the fact that it's only at 1. Yeah. I don't know, maybe we can have success here, but I doubt it. Yeah, just shy of that. So we'd have had no chance against that one there. And we do have a second chance, so bugger it, we'll go for a second chance. Still no support from the core HQ, unfortunately, but oh well. Ooh, looks like we do manage it this turn. Excellent. So yeah, it was worthwhile, actually. Could really do with moving these guys up over here, really. We'll move them last. Now, I suppose the question comes down to what do we want to do here? I could come around and envelop these forces, perhaps. But they're not exactly, really. I don't think they're particularly worthwhile. The army can do all that. Well, the infantry can do all that. I think while we do have fuel, it might be worthwhile to see how far we can go, and then really decide what we want to do. So, we'll grab the actual core command for the Panzer. A hasty attack should be sufficient to knock them back. Though I don't have a huge amount of fuel. I think a hasty should do it, considering it is a Panzer division. Which would now be wrong, but we'll see. We do, after all, have... tanks. Okay, I was hoping they'd move in the other direction, but I'll do. I do have the ability to move on yet further. Well, the fuel being captured now is really quite nice. It's not a huge amount, but it is still something. Hasty attack again. They might get rout, we'll see. They have been under a lot of attacks. Yet again, they go in the wrong direction. We do have another hasty attack that we can launch against them. So we'll go for it. It looks like Vyazma is only occupied by an airfield, it seems. Yeah, I mean, taking the Caucasus would be amazing. It's just obviously significantly harder to get to the Caucasus. It's easier to get to Moscow than it is to get to the Caucasus. Okay, yes, they rout. That's really good. Okay. I'm in position here to control there. So that's good. Now the question comes down to... See, I'd love to cut this rail line entirely. I could cut it there. But is it worth it? So I could make it Vyazma this turn. If I cut the rail line over here, obviously these men would have to go around. Do I have anything that could make it to reserve? Reserve, however, how you say it. Oops. If I could make it to the city, I'd be happy. These guys do come a bit closer. The issue is they're moving around the airfields. We might be able to take it if we move towards the airfields. I think what I'll do then is I'll take this core north, perhaps. I do have more movement there, actually. So I'll move here. We'll move there. Captured a little bit of fuel. That's quite a bit of fuel there. I think the issue here is the terrain. That's a difficult one to deal with. I'd like to make movements against... I'd like to secure both cities if I could. So, we know this can be secured. I don't need to take the city as I need to get here, really. I mean, if I do that, then... reinforcements can't move up that way. Not like they're going to be moving up that way. This is why I enjoy this game. It really is just like... It's like a problem-solving exercise, isn't it? And so it feels. It feels like a big old problem-solving exercise. I wish I had that little bit more fuel. Or the train was just a little bit better. But it isn't. Okay. Move back, secure the area, really. I suppose it really does depend on our angle of approach to Moscow, doesn't it? I'm just seeing if there's anything in these towns to make it worthwhile. Supply. Yeah, predominantly supply. I suppose it depends on where the reinforcements from, well, for Moscow would come from. And how do we wish to position ourselves? I think the best course of action is that we leave a small force there. I think we do concentrate more to the south there. The reason being at least one section of the city is on, technically, well, West Moscow is on our side. And it's only really Moscow proper that matters. But at least if I move this way, I'm going to be cutting off the southern reinforcements. The northern reinforcements do have it a little bit harder. And so obviously they do need to worry about Leningrad. So in a sense, having reinforcements come from the north is probably better. as at least then it might lessen the strain for us taking Leningrad. The south is probably where more of the reinforcements are going to come realistically. I'll take the motorized. I just need to cut the rail line. Cut the rail line, but I think pull back. That's all I need, really. Okay, so the rail line has been cut now. Pull back to that position. Make sure there's one hex in between us all, really. But at least I have something of a front, I suppose. Have the armor go take the city. Okay, 12 tons of fuel captured. City of Asmo falls. A little bit of supply of fuel. Now, I could move into the city. But I don't think it's worthwhile. I'll move slightly closer back to our own supply lines. And I've got what I wanted there. Though saying that, these rail lines are still active. But they're still active anyway, aren't they? So you could move up to that point there. I mean, all this is it just stops him from moving through the city. He can still move up to the city. So yeah, we'll fall back. It does use a little bit more fuel, but we are a little bit closer to the supply line, so I think it might be worthwhile. I think the other panzer elements I'll keep back. Now what I could do is potentially position ourselves here. I think what we may do then, so we've got what we need here, is I think we might keep the armor in position as is. We've got them all within about a, well, round about a hex of each other, really. What I'll do is buy us a little bit of room. Move the cavalry to the city. Right, can I push back with the infantry here? And I'd be happy if I could, but I don't expect to. How you doing there, Horace? Good to have you, my friend. No, we actually do. Well, that's quite good. Happy about the result there. Ah, fantastic. I can move into this position too. Okay, move you there. So I can't perform a headquarters build-up anyway. I forget what turn it comes. It's not too far away. Is it turn 13? Might be earlier than that. I think it might be like turn 13. Something. Well, that might be the snows. It's not long. I don't think it's long now. I mean, we're not far. We don't have a huge amount of fuel, but we are making steady progress. I think we'll have to see, because obviously the Soviets, well, the Red Army is going to receive a large amount of reinforcement shortly. I mean, obviously each turn they'll receive more and more reinforcements. I'm hoping that a lot of them are going to be tied up over here in Leningrad. Though, I mean, if they ease off at Leningrad, then obviously I'd be able to take Leningrad easier, but we'll see. I think we're making progress. It's all about progress. All about that. I don't know, what do you guys reckon so far, then? How do you think we're doing? It's hard to say. I mean, I'm just trying to remember when the actual bad weather will come. But I think we had a good move over here. Could have been even better over here in the previous turns had I not been a bit of an arse. Well, I should have checked on. I mean, like, we were in a position here, like, we were attacking, like, here. I should have just gone to the coastline, then we would have been in a much better position, but it's one of these, isn't it? It's one of these. Would have been pushed back anyway. At least we're in a position now we've got the infantry over here. The rail line's making good. I'm just going to make sure I've got the actual forces in a good state to push on yet further. Obviously, I've deprived them of the majority of the 16th Army, if not the entirety of the 16th Army. They do have reinforcements that are going to be on their way. It's not a great deal of reinforcements. I'm just hoping that we're in a position here where we don't have to grind as much. Like, there's no rivers here in front of us now, which is excellent. It's one of these, really. Like, he doesn't... I was hoping that I could have made it to Novgorod, but we didn't manage that. But ideally, I should be able to manage that in the next turn. Then if I could, like, solidify my position there, at least then all I'd have to do is look towards this position here, but that's significantly harder. But it might be a case of just skirting around. I'm not going to cut off the city, as technically they'll obviously still have the supply from the ports. But if I can really... I mean, what I'd love to do is, like, just trap, or just really envelop the vast majority of the Red Army forces here. Even if it doesn't cut them off, that's fine, because at least then it keeps them bottled up. How you doing there, G-Man? Good to have you, my friend. Yeah, if they're bottled up, they can't be too terribly active. And what I'm going to do is move up the actual air power here. So let's see. have the power move up over here. Not too bad, my man, not too bad. I have 5 10mm T-54s in front of me. I'm going to be assembling some Centurions in a little while. I've got another T-54. I mean, what I've been doing is been taking pictures for Pendraken as well. Got a good deal from them with the actual miniatures, which is awesome. So yeah, as like a gesture of goodwill, what I do is like I'll take pictures of the actual models before they're assembled, and then ideally one day I'll take pictures of them when they're painted, if they're alright. Bit of goodwill, but the models are very nice, so like, I'm looking forward to like doing like some post-war stuff. To be fair, what I need to do is like buy like a whole bunch of T-34-85s, and then I'll be able to like do the Korean War, which would be awesome. But yeah, I've got 3 Centurions with the 20-pounders, and I have got a Conqueror, but unfortunately the turret and gun didn't get sent to the package. But I've emailed off and they said they're going to get one out to me ASAP, so that's all good. Conqueror's a big model. But yeah, they're very nice. I do like these T-54s. Very nice model. There we go. Those cut-off units and marshes are still there. Yeah. I'm aware they're still there. It's just they've got 22 CV. You know what I mean? It's like I've only left 2 regiments here. They're in Swamp and there's 2 divisions. 1st Leningrad Rifle Division and the 187th Rifle Division. Like, I'm happy to let them just starve. It's more effort to sort of get rid of them sometimes. What I'll probably do is these divisions that I'll be sending up over here as reinforcements is probably use them perhaps. But they're not a major priority. And I'd like to see what happens here once we are done with the turn. Okay. Actually, that's not a good idea. We should move them there now. Oh well, it's not bad now. Not bad. Right, they can be transferred to the 13th Corps. In fairness, let's see. Yeah, the Panzer groups don't have a huge amount of supply. Sorry, fuel. That's because they use a lot of it. 3rd Panzer. Not exactly great. It may be worthwhile having a Panzer Corps assigned to another army, as at least then we do have that fuel there. Like, these guys are under 9th Army. You're under the second, but the second doesn't have much, I don't think. Oh no, I take that back. Second has a decent amount. Though saying that, 4 farming is overburdened. I should really have one of them transferred back. I'll have this Panzer Corps reassigned to the second Panzer Group. Let me just make sure it's the second Panzer Group, so I fucking don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, second Panzer. Okay, it is better, but it's still not amazing. Let's be honest, then they're not going to suffer. They have it close to rail line, so that's fine. I'll move them back. Okay, Shift K. That's fine. Issue is obviously we need to garrison a lot. So we'll have them begin to move there to go garrison. Yeah, can you imagine a shit amount of trains that would have to be moving up this way? I mean, obviously we can't move the trains now, but... Well, I mean, we could obviously move it up the actual converted gauge. But can you imagine, like, the sheer amount of trains and just trucks and just... Oh, the amount of logistics would be insane. I'm looking forward to getting Grigsby's 1v's too. I mean, God knows when it'll be coming out. I'm hoping next year. This year'd be awesome, but probably next year. But I'm looking forward to seeing the logistics in play. But obviously in a much more meaningful way, really. But we'll have to see. So I think this is what we're going to call it for tonight. It's been a good, just shy of 2 hours there. But we've got this centre done now. I just need to obviously do a couple of little things. Just need to get obviously the actual headquarters in the right positions. And probably move up the Luftwaffe. We'll be in a good position then. Making good progress. We are making good progress. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next turn, really. Like, I envision the Soviets reacting to this quite heavily. But the good news is it's like, these forces are cut off from the rail line over here. Obviously, they still have the rail line over here to the north. They can still come, like, up to there. That's about there. But it will be interesting. These guys are going to find it significantly harder because of all that shitty terrain there. These guys are probably pulled back, but we'll see. If this line contracts over here, that's fine by me. So then we can move on towards the city over here. Secure that, and it gives me another position there. I mean, ultimately, it might be worthwhile just to ignore this area. So at the end of the day, I do want to have to struggle along the rough terrain, so it might be worthwhile to have the 16th Army, I think it is, just continue up that way, just go behind the rough terrain. So it's one of these things, like, I don't gain anything in this area. It's awful to fight in. At least if I'm pushing up over this way, I'm gonna be able to ignore that. So this is usually where you get, like, sort of bogged down. I think the thing is, it's like, we'll have to maintain a hold-in force here. And probably something of a centre. Just a small hold-in force. But once I secure myself here, then obviously once Estonia flips, I don't need to worry so much about here. If it does indeed flip, we'll see. But ideally we can continue to push over here then. It would be nice to obviously have the 16th Army there as well, but the 16th Army is doing a good job for us down here in the south. It's contributing to the fight, it's contributing to the success of our group centre, so ideally that is going to be success all round there. But we've made some good progress. The south is an interesting situation due to the fact of the 17th Army has not been able to move due to the freaking resistance of these guys. It's been stubborn as hell. And obviously the +1 CV really did not help me, but oh well. Like, I don't mind pulling back over here, I really don't mind. If I can't move on, it doesn't particularly matter. I'm going to deal with these units first. It's complicated, but at least we do have the forces of the 6th Army able to move up here as well. So the 6th will be able to move up towards Kiev, and it might be that we go for a relatively short trip over towards Kharkov. It will depend. Well, it will really depend on what happens. But ideally I can use the 6th Army, push on there, use the actual motorized in this area, push on around there, and then we'll move on towards Kharkov. And obviously there are the forces to the north that we do have to contend with, but I'm hoping that in itself will be able to give them something to think about, something to chew on over here, something to really prevent them from moving their forces to the north. But this is the big logistical hub in this area, obviously all these cities, but this is the next big one, the closest one that is the actual logistical hub. The rail lines over here are broken, which is good news. So if we can break the lines at Kiev, we'll be alright. As far as it goes for me, it's like I'm more interested, to be honest, in some aspects in breaking the logistical... Yeah, the logistics of the Red Army. Okay. So nice there, big thank you here, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you have enjoyed this, oopsie, then do please consider becoming a patron today. It really helps me out, helps the channel grow. You get some nice rewards as well, very nice rewards. So I'd be very happy if you guys could check it out. If you feel I've earned your support, then you know where to take it, really. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, thank you for watching and goodbye for now. Have a beautiful evening and an even better day. See you in the next episode. Goodbye for